Hi, my name is John Bruni. You might know me as the author of Tales of Questionable Taste and Poor Bastards and Rich Fucks, as well as Dawn of Frankenstein. I had a new book come out over the summer called Mail Order Bride. Now, my life went to hell during the summer, so I didn't get the chance to do any of the promotional stuff that I had planned. But now I have an extra hour because I woke up on a daylight saving time day and I completely forgot it was daylight saving time day. So I decided I would do the excerpt now. I'm going to actually read two excerpts, one from the novel itself and then one from the bonus story in the back. And then let me just tell you first a little bit about Mail Order Bride. So it's about the sex worker from New York City who was sent west during the late 1800s by her pimp to be a mail order bride to this goofy looking farmer who everyone trusts for some reason. Her plan is to sock away enough money so that she can eventually leave him and live the good life in San Francisco. But unfortunately for her, he actually his main business is buying mail order brides and then selling them into slavery. So that's his plan for her, and this first excerpt is actually going to be that moment where she discovers that. So, without any further ado, let's get to that part. As I put on my reading glasses over my glasses because my sight is horrible. Iron Trail watched as Felton touched the heavy pouch on his belt. Though he'd seen the white man count the money twice, the Comanche wondered if maybe his business partner wanted to sift through the coins again. Felton looked up and showed off his teeth in his usual silly grin. I just love the heft of newly acquired money. Iron Trail grunted. We all do. Come on, Felton said. You know it's going to be worth it. Iron Trail nodded. They rode in silence. When they got back to the Reeves farm, Iron Trail stopped in the barn to pick up his other horse. In the dim luminescence from the moon and the stars, he saddled his second animal, mounted his first, and steered them both toward the house. When he walked in, he found Felton kissing Tessa. The woman had been writing in her diary, which had been left open on the table before her. Husband and wife broke apart. Hello, Iron Trail, Tessa said. I hear you're leaving us tomorrow. Iron Trail remained silent. After having done this with Felton 6 times before him, he knew it would be best if he didn't say a word. Actually, Felton said, you'll be going with him. Tessa paused, like all the others had, and she continued as if her husband hadn't said anything. We're going to miss you around here. A grin crept across the side of Felton's mouth as he took the pouch from his belt. He stuck his fingers at the top and yanked it open. From its guts came a shower of coins pouring into his palm. Have you ever seen this much money, Tess? She glanced at the pool of silver and gold in her husband's hand. No, where did you get it? Iron Trail gave it to me. Felton funneled his hand and let the money jingle back together into the pouch. We couldn't take this, Tessa said to the Comanche. It's too much. Besides, you did your share of the work around here. It never failed to amuse Iron Trail. These women from back east were like clockwork. None of them varied in their reactions. Still, he kept quiet. It's not for the hospitality, Felton said. It's for you. Tessa blinked. What? Felton dropped the pouch on the table. It thunked like a club to the head. I sold you, Tess. To him. Iron Trail allowed himself a grin. So easy. I don't understand, Tessa said. Felton advanced, touching her shoulders gently. You belong to Iron Trail now. The Comanche held out his hand. Are you ready to go? Finally, Tessa knew. Iron Trail could see the knowledge dawn on her face as if she were the sun spilling onto a brand new day. But then she did something not in the script. Her face grew hard, almost as hard as a typical Western woman's. Iron Trail thought that perhaps she wasn't the prim and proper beauty he thought her to be. Tessa shoved her husband to the side, to be expected. They all tried to fight back, but most of Felton's wives just weren't strong enough for it. This one looked too frail to last very long. Felton backed away, holding up defensive hands. I'm really sorry, Tess. Take a look around. I'm a terrible farmer. I have to survive somehow. Besides, this isn't the first time you've been sold. Remember, I bought you from that Pepper fella. Fuck you, she screamed. I thought you were different. You're nothing but a goofy-looking version of Sam, you bastard. Distantly, Iron Trail wondered who Sam was. But Tessa's foul language struck him as more interesting. A woman with a dirty mouth? Nothing new out west. Some girl from back east who looked as beautiful as this one, though? Iron Trail felt something perk up in his leggings. Felton turned his attention to Iron Trail. Would you please get her out of here? The Comanche took a step forward, but Tessa whirled away, headed for the dresser. Of course she has to be difficult, he thought, but he wouldn't have it any other way. The thing was only worth having if he had to fight for it. The drawer scraped open, and she rummaged through the underthings. By now, Iron Trail had caught up to her. He reached out to grab her shoulder when she jerked away toward Felton, and they all heard a tiny pop. Iron Trail recoiled, and from the corner of his eyes he saw Felton do the same. Then Iron Trail saw the derringer in Tessa's hand, and she cocked the hammer for another try. The Comanche lunged forward and hit Tessa's arm just as she pulled the trigger. The firearm popped again, and this bullet went astray like the first. Though he knew the gun to be empty, Iron Trail plucked it from her and grabbed her in a bear hug. She struggled and screamed against his strong grip. Felton, Iron Trail said, "Are you okay?" "I'm fine." Felton rubbed his sweat from his forehead. "It's a good thing those guns aren't very accurate. Get the rag." "Oh, right, sorry." Tessa's feet dug against Iron Trail's shins, but she simply didn't have the strength to hurt him. Soon Felton pressed his chloroform rag to her face. When she went limp, they put her on the bed and began tying her up. The next day, Felton tried to keep sweat out of his eyes as dug in the ground the grave of his seventh wife. He decided that Tessa had died of the fever. No one ever wanted to find out for sure because no one wanted to catch anything. Besides, there was no doctor around to dispute his diagnosis, just a vet who spent most of his time and money in the Lucky Lou. He threw in Tessa's belongings, her clothes, her suitcase, her hats, everything. Lastly, he dropped her diary into the ground. He'd been tempted to read it, just to see what kinds of things she had thought about, but in the end he decided it would be a bad idea. He considered the things Iron Trail would probably do to her, and he came to the conclusion that he didn't want to know who she really was. As he filled the hole, he started to realize he missed her. If Tessa had been here, she would have brought him lemonade and kisses. She'd massage his aching shoulders. She'd love him. Felton gagged and spat up a booger. Did he maybe love her? He'd never felt guilty about this before. Last night, with her side of the bed cold, he felt lonely for the first time since he'd run away from home at the age of 10. That night, as he tried to go to sleep, he couldn't stop thinking about her. She flitted through his dreams like waking moments like a ghost. When he woke up in a sweat, he wondered if maybe he should have kept this one. It was too late, of course. He thought maybe he'd get her a good gravestone. In all likelihood, Iron Trail would use her up and leave her dead in the dust of the West. But here, in a lonely farm boneyard, there would be some kind of testament to her life and love. What else could he do for her but nothing? Poor Felton, right? Yeah, well, this is the least of her problems. Her trials and tribulations have just begun, and her thoughts of vengeance also have just begun. So you can read all about how she resolves all of her issues in the book Mail Order Bride, but there's also a bonus story in the back. I don't know if you read my book Trail of Blood, but there's an asshole named Dick in there, and he is a real prick named Dick. Thought he knew shit but didn't know shit. So this is GTT is the bonus story, and it's mostly about what he did to get banished from New York City. But really, it's a story about Sam Pepper, the pimp in question. So, without any further ado, here's chapter 3 of that bonus story. Howdy, Sam. How's tricks? Sam Pepper reached across the desk and shook hands with the congressman. The congressman smiled when he felt the coin in his hand and made it disappear like a fart in the wind. He gestured to a chair. Sam sat. Tricks as well, sir. I'll tell her that you asked after her. Lascivious didn't quite cover the smile on the congressman's face. Please do. I'll be by to see her when my wife takes my children on vacation. All things considered, I think they're leaving today. Sam felt like he'd missed something. When you're ready, let Mr. Grimes know, he said. We'll give you the gold star treatment, as usual. The congressman laughed and slapped his desk. You, sir, are a peach. He presented 2 cigars, offering one to Sam. After he lit them, he leaned back. To what do I owe the pleasure? I think you know, sir. The bill banning whorehouses on the island? Even in the 5 points? Surely you don't think that'll pass. Sam blew smoke up to the ceiling. Never turn your back on a Puritan. Look what happened in Rome. A good point, to be sure. The congressman tapped out some ash and reached into a drawer for his whiskey. He poured 2 glasses and passed one to Sam. Sam, not used to actual good whiskey, drank his so quickly he felt unexpected euphoria as an immediate buzz took hold. Mr. Pepper, it is goddamn un-American to ban whorehouses anywhere. I predict 100 years from now, no, 200, there will be whorehouses stretched from sea to shining sea. Not that I won't take your money, of course, but I wouldn't worry about it. I'm not so sure, Sam said. How many people still worship Mithras in Rome? Catholics are scum. No one will ever elect them to public office, much less let them decide policy. Then how did the bill get introduced in the first place? Ah, the congressman waved a dismissive hand. They're hypocrites just like the rest of us good Christians. They see a hole, they want to fuck it just like us. And they'll pay for the pleasure, too. I'll bet we hand this country back to the English before we start banning whorehouses. This Pope fellow seems to think he has God's ear, Sam said. All the more reason that the bill's not going to pass. Popes are fucking crazy. I'm shocked anyone believes in that shit. It's like witches casting spells as far as I'm concerned. The congressman poured Sam another drink, and Sam sipped at it this time. He cleared his throat and leaned forward. All the same, I'd like to hedge my bets. You're a fool, Sam Pepper, but a well-regarded fool. Rest assured I'll vote against it. A lot of my colleagues feel the same way. I'm sure there's maybe one asshole who will buck the system. There's always one at least. But this vote will get shot down almost unanimously. Just you wait. Sam accepted this. It was all he could do at this point. On to other business. Anything else you can give me a head start on? Have you read the newspaper this morning? The congressman asked. No, they weren't out by the time I got on the train. I plan to read on the way home. I'll save you the trouble of buying one. The congressman reached to a table behind him and picked up the folded newspaper, spreading the front page open on his desk upside down so Sam could read it. It showed a picture of Abraham Lincoln with a hangdog look on his face. Beneath it said, Extra, 8:10 a.m., New York, Saturday, April 15, 1865, death of the president. What the fuck, Sam said. The congressman only nodded. Sam thought Lincoln had been a do-gooder with misbegotten ideals, who had plunged the country into a civil war, but he had the best of intentions. He could imagine a lot of people who wanted to kill the president, but he couldn't think of anyone specific. Did Jefferson Davis even want the deed done? How? Shot in the head while watching a play, the congressman said. Who did it? Some Confederate? They're saying it was John Wilkes Booth. Sam paused. What? The actor? That's crazy. The congressman took a careless puff on his cigar and let the smoke dribble out of his mouth onto the paper. That's what they're saying. Sam picked up the Herald and glanced over the words, still not believing this could happen. He tried thinking of a president who had been assassinated before and came up with nothing. Mentally, he ran down the list of presidents through his head, something he hadn't done since his school days. He got all of them except James Madison, and none of them had been killed. Died in office? Sure. Killed? No. Gonna close down the palace today in his honor? The congressman asked. He had a glint in his eye, meant to be a sure sign that he was fucking with Sam. Sam didn't notice. Hell no. Could be more people still want to drink and fuck because of the news. I could be one of them, the congressman said. You should get back home and prepare for the grieving and their money. I'll probably be by tonight sometime. Numb, Sam picked up the paper and folded it under his arm. He drank down the rest of his whiskey and stood. I'll see you then. The congressman watched him leave the office amused. He'd never seen Sam Pepper like that before, and he almost liked him for it. Still, today would be a busy day. He had a few letters to write, so he called for a secretary, getting ready to go to work. Outside, Sam passed by a couple of people holding up signs protesting the bill to ban whorehouses. Or maybe they were for it? Sam didn't notice. He didn't care. He ghostwalked back to the train station, thinking about how Lincoln's death would affect his plans, and possibly the bill. Would the papists spring on this as a distraction to get the bill passed? Fuck. He hoped not. And that is the story of Sam Pepper and Dick Lyman. And you can see how that all turns out in my book, Mail Order Bride. If you want a copy, let me know. I'll sign it. I'll let it go for $12 if you buy it from me personally. So let me know. Thank you for listening.